Alright, here I am, ready to get going. New stream time, 3 o'clock. Eastern, that is. We made the switch so that I could prioritize editing, and boy did I get editing this morning. So, our new switch seems to be effective. So, glad I made it. And we did a little bit of gaming offline yesterday. So, off stream, I decided to chop some wood with some AFK activities, and we now have 5,000 anima infused bark and can afford to get the log basket. So we'll come down here, and I got this for a few reasons, but the main reason is for Veil Totems. So 300, 300, 5,000, we'll buy one. Alright, collection log. And while I'm also here, probably makes sense just to get one of these forestry kits. So we'll put all of our little leaves in there. Very nice. And we still have a good amount of logs for other purposes, so great. I did get started on doing some maples as well, but that was pushed off for the time being. In that, I'll need probably close to 5,000 or so, and we got about 700 to get to my goal, my fletching target. Alright, so how do we start this account today? How do we get it going? I think it's time to take a trip to Lava Dragon Island. Although, maybe we should wait. The whole point of doing agility training was so I can just go right through there at 74, so forgot about that little minor detail. It's like, oh, I'm a high level agility, I can go do that, right? Didn't even cross my mind that I wasn't quite there yet. So, with that, we go back to Agility Pyramid. We'll go get some more money and push it. So let's go ahead and turn our enables off, go back to our tab. Kind of did it in a certain order. Let's see if I can replicate. Yeah. That looks fine to me. So we did change our house to Old Nivnich. That'll make getting out there much more convenient. And I think just on my local end, my volume is a little too high. For stream, it should be good. Let me just turn that down. Very nice. Okay, and so then we'll want maybe 1 pie or cake, I suppose. 2/3 should do. We'll want our water. Although, let's see if I remember where I put it, huh? I'm so blind, huh? Okay. Search. And so yeah, I think we can afford to get at least another row. Another row should do. So let's bring our money. And we'll stop in Lumbridge first. Yeah, you need a grapple to probably get across there. I wanted to take a quick shortcut. Going off memory. I think my chair's not leaning back enough. Oh yeah, it's a little better. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll want, let's say 3 more. And by 5, why not? And then, let's just put 1 away. I think it's just 1 earth rune, right? Could be good. Oh, you know what? We never grabbed a cat, so let's make a quick little detour. Get a cat, and then we can teleport straight to our house anyways, so there's no time wasted. It's hard picking up when you haven't played in 24 hours, so remembering exactly where you are and what you need to do. I do think I want to bring my fire runes actually, so let's bring those. And then we want at least 5 slots, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. And it looks like my little overlay got a little messed up, so let's just go ahead and put this right here. I need 71 to step across here, so we'll just go ahead and take our carpet over here and then run down. Yeah, we want to go to Narda. It looked weird for a second. Like, where am I going? Their mouths look so weird that you can kind of see them from up top. Their little red alligator mouths. Wonder if that's an HT plugin special. Yeah, this stream will probably push to about 72 agility. I'll probably push to maybe 74 on my own, who knows. See what we want to do after the stream, and then that way we can go to Lava Dragons maybe tomorrow, or maybe we take a little detour somewhere else if I decide not to push my agility. Yeah, I actually, the more agility I do, the more I actually enjoy it. I know it's a little strange for most people to hear that, but I think it's a good little pause. And talking about good little pauses. Yeah, so the embedded, I have an embedded kick chat. And if I want to ban someone, I have to go to the actual website. So it looks like I will not be using that embedded anymore. So instead, let's go to YouTube and pop theirs out. There we go. Much better. So yeah, the agility grind continues. I still am enjoying the agility grind. There's a nice little reflection on maybe being the last time I do agility. I don't know if I'll do an account in the future or not, another one. And this one, when I push to 75 agility, might be the last push. There might not be any future agility. I'll probably end up doing barbarian fishing. Should get me another couple levels. And after that point, who knows? We might have to stop and get some amulets in the future. Maybe we push to 80 or so for different achievement diaries. But that will most likely be at the Polnivnich course or the Relica course, which I don't really have much nostalgia for, because on my other accounts I don't think I actually did them. I think we did the Sears course to 80, and I don't really know what I did to 90. But eventually I started the Ardone course. I don't think I went to 99. I know I didn't go to 99, but I don't know how far I went. Could look it up out of curiosity. Is there a way to look myself up? I always forget how to search for stuff. We'll do that in a minute. I think I know what the issue is. I turned my fan off, so I'm a little extra hot today, and it's making me very uncomfortable. So let me turn that on real quick. I wasn't feeling right. I'm a creature of comfort, so when I'm uncomfortable, just feel it. My skin felt different. The way my socks felt. Yeah, I think with a little bit of circulation, we should start feeling a little better. They also just had to get my heater fixed. And they just installed a new piece that was covered with a lot of oil, so it smoked out my house as well, my apartment. And so maybe some of that oil is in my lungs. I can still smell the oil. Yeah, the air feels better already. Nice. I can just click this. So yeah, we'll try to stream for 4 hours. Each level will take less than 2, so we should be able to get up to 71 and then 72. Our kitten's growth is 3 hours. The amount of time we actually have with our water skins is probably only 2.5 hours, would be my upper limit guess. But yeah, that's the thing about comfort sometimes. It's like, one variable off can make all the difference sometimes. And simply because I turned my fan off, it was allowed me to breathe much easier. I now feel that little bit of cool air. I have the fan on to push hot air that gets stagnant up top down and spread it throughout the house, but without it I just felt like almost itchy. I have a couple layers on because it's not really that hot in my, we're in Michigan, it's a end of October. Oh shoot. So we do fall sometimes here. We've avoided falling quite a bit all the way from 70. We did over 20 laps yesterday. And we probably only fell 3 times. That was a very rare occurrence. Okay, we got 3 of these. Did I grab the one up there? I think I did. It says total laps 3. I've definitely been known to forget to take my rewards, so. Yeah, new day. New setup. I was streaming at 10 o'clock, now I'm streaming at 3. And the, what I've consumed today is different than just waking up and having coffee and doing a few edits and then coming on, compared to, now I've had a full meal, A full meal puts me in siesta mode. So I'll probably start falling asleep in an hour or so. I have to wonder how many madmen are out there like me that like to start their accounts with agility. You know, I'm not much of a skiller these days. It's not my the reason why I want to play this game. If anything, I'd prefer not to skill. If I had to just if I could just press a button and unlock what I wanted to unlock, and then get to PVM, that'd be nice. I already had an infinite amount of sunlight bolts, and had an infinite amount of furs and stuff, so that I can go and get mixed hide armor. That would be my preference. I could just get going, start PVMing, start going and trying to get a rev weapon. We really want the web weaver bow, crossbow. I'm not too sure. You know, Vedion, Calvarian, you need a crush weapon, so obviously the Ursine chain mace would be nice. And the spider spindle, you can also do with crush. But I had seen that it's competitive to do the web weaver bow, and I just imagine that will be the easier method of doing it. But I have no experience with it, so as we get closer, when we get weapons, we'll map out if that's what we want to do or not. But yeah, ideally we spoon the web weaver bow, and then while we're doing Wilderness Slayer, we would go and get spider task. We would go and get, I don't think he has a skeleton task, does he? But I'll be doing Turiel skipping, which I believe gives you spiders, bears, skeletons, yeah. So the quicker I get an Ursine mace, the quicker I'll go to Vedion. But the quicker I get a web weaver bow, the quicker I can do bear tasks and spider tasks. And I think if you get the what is it called? The Accursed Scepter, I can't think of the first name right now. You get the Accursed Scepter, Thurmans, something like that? Yeah, so if you get the Accursed Scepter, then I think you can start doing cardio. So that might also be a path. So any three of them, you can start doing some. But if you get the magic one first, you can only do one boss. Whereas if you get any of the other two first, then you're good to go. So we'll turn walk on, maybe get up to 25 if we're lucky. Here you go, Simon. Yeah, we'll probably have to walk a little bit more on our next roundabouts. I think I want to have about 30 at this point when you're fresh weight, when you're negative weight, because when you're walking, doesn't matter what you're carrying, you're gonna restore the same amount. And so you want to be running with the light load and walking with the heavy load to maximize your drain rate. But yeah, I finally was able to make an episode 1 that I liked. I erased it 2 or 3 times. I don't even know at this point what the count is. Trying to figure out how to use my software to its fullest capacity and how to keep myself organized for the future, and I ended up just not caring. Went back to the original method and edited it as I go. Took some notes that might help in the future, might not. But yeah, the amount of time I needed to organize, I kept going down the method and looking at it, and it's like, well, at that point, I'm better off just looking for the scene myself and recutting it than to spend all this effort saving all these files out. That it doesn't have this automated process for you. I can mark each spot I want, and I thought I could just press a button and export it. And it didn't seem to have that feature when I searched. I just kind of assumed it did. And I asked an AI for a good workflow on that. They said to mark them, and then you can export them. And, well, you have to manually do it anyway, so might as well manually do it as you go, instead of adding extra steps that don't do anything for you. I bought a solid state drive external, be able to and I don't know if I want to directly record my videos into it or not. If it disconnects while I'm streaming, it might be might not save the files. That's my worry, I guess. So I don't know if there's a backup method to that, but I just worry, over the course of my hard drive's life, it only has so many writes before it starts to falter. And if you're recording in HD, well, you probably only have about 10 years of life on it, which might be enough. But I guess when I buy a car, I buy it with the intention of not selling it. Run it to the ground. And so yeah, I guess my computer, I don't plan on really upgrading until I really need to. If there's a reason to really upgrade, I'll do it, but if I can calculate that it's taken, I lose an hour every day because it's a slow computer. If I value my time at X amount of dollars, how many days until it pays off to get a new computer, and even if it was an hour a day, which it's not, and even if you value yourself at $100 an hour, which I couldn't find that in the open market, so it would take not that long to pay for a computer. Alright, looks like we're going to run out of run energy soon. I think I'm just going to let it naturally run out. And then we'll walk up for probably about 20 energy. We'll turn it on when we're trying to race past a ledge. I seem to still be running. I was on 0, but not quite fully trained, so yeah, we're running still. We'll utilize as much run as possible. before this cat annoys me, we'll shift left click and we'll go walk here. So that way I don't click on him, I walk through him. Alright, we'll turn our run on and then we'll start walking once we grab one more pyramid piece. Yeah, I don't think I'm actually coping with the agility grind. Maybe I'm a little weird, no doubt to that. But I don't mind agility. I find it semi-therapeutic. You know, I don't really put much effort into the things that you just have to kind of do, you know? Sometimes you gotta run in circles in life. And so kind of when I decide to run in circles sometimes, I just relax into it and click the next corner. So yeah, it might not be the most engaging content, but I know what the starting point is, I know what the end point is, I know why I'm doing it, so there's not much more to really concern myself for. I can control my, you know, my need for entertainment. I need something to entertain me or something. So yeah, maybe that's what it is. Is I'm not really watching all that much YouTube or engaging with too many algorithms at the moment. So my need to stimulate myself and try to find something to entertain me and occupy me is relatively low, maybe. But running in a circle doesn't feel as I feel like I'm missing out on something else, you know? Because there's really not that much important stuff. Even if social media and all these algorithms are maximizing this feeling of making you think that it's important and worthy of your attention, it's really not. So I guess I'm gonna get rid of distractions. Agility's just okay. Alright, looks like we have close to 40. I don't think I'm gonna make this one, but I think it's gonna go before I even get there. Yeah. So let's try to make this one. Should be fine. Yeah. I'm yet to have a close call, I feel. And I feel like I've only stopped when I would have been knocked over, so it's fun to get the timing down. But having said that, now I'm probably going to get knocked down now. I guess I'm going to turn my walk on. Try to get as much energy as I can before we start running again. So we have our full 5 that we want. Brings us up to 48 kilograms. Which, you know, I don't know the exact break point of when it's worth it and not, but I feel like this is working out pretty fine, so we'll stick with it. But yeah, once you see that life is just a bunch of repeated loops, you know, agility doesn't really matter anymore. I don't really care about it. You're just repeating a loop. Every boss is a loop. Every song, every rhythm, you know, the loop is what, you know, gives you some familiarity to the to what you're doing. If you didn't have loops, it would be pure chaos. Even if it feels like loops kind of make you spiral out sometimes, and then you want to go find other loops. Yeah, it's a good idea. But you know, even if you start adventuring and doing things, eventually those become loops. You start learning how to track and start looking for, you know, patterns and, oh, it looks like animals have been here. No, it looks like, you know, so you start paying attention to different loops, different signs. You know, it's not the movie I have to go watch is the Truman, I think it's called The Truman Story with Jim Carrey. I think I understand the gist of it, but I think I'm gonna get knocked down, but let's go for it just for fun. Yeah. See, sometimes you need to throw yourself out of the loop. That's what I did there. Sometimes it's a little fun just to push to see if maybe you can get by. And I knew the timing was bad, but sometimes when you know something's gonna happen and it doesn't happen, you know, it's a good reminder that you're not infallible. And even if I predicted it correctly, I've also predicted things incorrectly before, so it's good to kind of test your estimation ability. So yeah, that's how I like to have my fun, I guess. Because I don't really need the exciting content, I suppose. I get to kind of relax and play with it however I want. But yeah, this bar seems to be moving up pretty quick. Much quicker than I expected, so I was kind of expecting to start getting tired at this point and kind of overdoing this grind. So that's one where I actually waited too long. Probably should have just went. I think that's the first time that I did that. Stopped when it wouldn't have knocked me down. So yeah, we're going to try to push to at least 43 prayer. Let's see. Do I want these gems? Where's that big troll? There he is. Let's play some pinball. Although it's going to get into my inventory, but we can just drop a water, an empty one. guess that's it. Well, maybe I just drop my cake instead. I think that's a good way of doing it. Because I think I'm gonna have more cake than I'm gonna eat on this account. I already have 100 from doing a little bit of thieving. And my last Ironman didn't use up even less than that. The last Ironman being a group Ironman. I'm sorry, I have to moderate. And so yeah, this game's a good reminder to me sometimes that 20 years ago I knew our current world, but it still, sometimes surprises me. With all these like scammers and all this online territory, right? Well, now you see that like if you go on Tinder or whatever, you get hit with a bunch of people scamming, trying to get you to go to OnlyFans or something like that. And other things too, where everything just seems like some scammers trying to get you in all these different online things. And so playing RuneScape kind of, you'd think would have prepared me better for, kind of doing this online stuff. Coming in now, having all these people that pretend to be real in your chat that are trying to help you out. We'd already seen that 20 years ago when we were kids. But it's still kind of, now that you see that life is more online, it has, I guess, a greater effect. But essentially nothing kind of feels real, and that everyone is, everything you see, if everyone lives more and more online and all they see is more and more fake stuff, like it's not good for the human brain, so. So I just moved back to Michigan and I figured I would start doing some online dating and seeing how that goes, and a couple of matches, but they ended up being, fake ones, and says this, like I'm not dealing with this thing. I'll go and meet people. I'll put myself in different environments in the outside world, even if I'm streaming in here all day and not working and don't have opportunity. Well, I'll go make the opportunity somewhere else. Because the online one seems to be hijacked. I know some people that met through those like dating apps and such. So yeah, if they did it, maybe I should try. I avoided them up until that point, but maybe it's maybe it was good to experience it just so I didn't pass judgment on it before I actually used it. So we'll see if we can do a lap without having to walk, and then we'll get our run back. I think sapphires are actually the preferred gem. Are we doing a lot of trail skipping? So we need a quick way to get to Edgeville. And I think that probably means we get a Drawman staff and our own cloak. Or we, I was also thinking about pushing my hunter up really high. And maybe we just go get some glories and get my construction up to 50. We can just teleport to house and teleport to Edgeville that way. I think that's probably going to end up being much quicker than using the cloak to teleport to then teleport to then run. Might slow us down a little bit. That we're going to go and do our wilderness task. We're going to get a task that we want to skip. So we'll go to Turiel with our gaming necklace. We'll finish up whatever task that she gives. Teleport back to Edgeville somehow. And then I think if you have enough money, can't you set your respawn to Edgeville? And with that, maybe we can press home teleport. Maybe that's what I'll do. I do like the Ferox Enclave as the home base too. Where's my guy going, huh? What do you do that for? I swear sometimes I click backwards without meaning to. But yeah, there's a lot of I was talking about some of the online stuff. There's plenty and plenty more that I interact with now that I'm trying to stream and make YouTube videos. And Nintendo allows you to use their content, but other people try to monetize off of you. So they'll make claims that you're stealing their stuff, even though it's Nintendo's, in hopes that you don't then counterclaim them. There's a better word than counterclaim, but I can't think of it right now. What is that word, huh? That's gonna bug me, but whatever. Dispute. See, once I gave up on it, it came to me. And so yeah, I added some more popular songs, but now my disputes have increased significantly. So each episode I have to then go and dispute 3 songs, the 3 songs I just added. Lost Woods, Gerdo Valley, Dragon Roost Island. And before it was just 1 song, and I removed that song just to make it easier on myself. I still disputed all the claims, but in addition, I had changed the songs just so I wouldn't have to keep disputing it until they make a decision on my account. And so yeah, episode 1, I've made it. I haven't released it yet, and so I'm kind of tempted to make some test streams where I pick different like RuneScape songs that I might want to play in my video instead of the Zelda songs that I pick for my kick, basically. Better turn our walk on. I'm gonna have to be walking a lot with no weight. Can't be doing that. So yeah, I'll see what RuneScape songs I want. to feature in my playlist for actual videos. I have a few ideas. I've started compiling songs, but I kind of went off the most popular ones first, and then I started doing A through Z using the wiki. I think I got to like D or E or something, and yeah, there's 800 songs to go through, so I'm kind of hand-picking and trying to organize them and having a file on my computer. Let me I'm down the stair. And I'm gonna have to test those songs. I don't expect RuneScape to, or JagX should I say, to copyright. Yeah. But maybe some people are gonna do the same thing that they're doing with the Zelda songs and fraudulently claim that they own them in hopes that you don't. I lost that word again. Dispute. There you go. So you don't dispute them. I think I'm gonna get kicked off this. Let's see if we can make it. Nice. Our cat didn't make it though. I think this weird concept I've realized is you might read and you might, watch and listen, but until you say the word, it doesn't really stick with you. So I had seen the word dispute so many times, and it was in my head of like I already know what it means. I didn't have to say it, so I didn't have to go through the experience of recalling it and stating it out loud. But now that I have, it feels like that word's just going to come easier and easier. So until you put the words in practice, your ability to actually say them, like you're thinking of the word and then you can just say it the more you say it, right? But the actual act of saying it, not just thinking it, not just reading it, not just seeing it on the wall, right? A little bit of conscious effort is required to kind of give you that access to that word. I guess I already grabbed it, so don't waste your time up there. So yeah, we'll see if we want to keep going with the popular Zelda songs. If I have to dispute each video 3 times for the 4 or 5 days a week, or if I can just find an alternative that serves the purpose that I'm looking for, we might do that instead. Oops. Alright, looks like my cat needs some attention. And I've come to realize that it's probably not even often worth it to grow this cat anymore, but we'll keep doing it. At least until we're done with our agility grind, and we'll probably do it even in our hunter grind, and maybe in our fletching grind too. So I think until we go to the wilderness, we'll keep our innocence, I guess. So yeah, I think that's one thing I want to do with this account. It's called FailNOutloud. You can see in the top left corner. That's the name of it. And you know, a lot of what that means is to basically avoid comfort. You know, I'm Courageous Comfort is the name of my YouTube and my kick and social media, I guess, now. But you know, the courage to go beyond comfort and the comfort to, you know, go beyond courage, basically, is how I'm framing it. And so I want a chapter in the wilderness to kind of overcome that that feeling I get of being prey. You know, every time I go into the wilderness, there's like this weird feeling that comes over me. And I think if I expose myself more and more to the wilderness, that will transfer to that feeling of prey going away in my day-to-day life. You know, I feel like civilization kind of asks men nowadays to be prey. Not to, you know, hold firm to values and interests and, you know, the tides have shifted significantly, but, you know, in my foundational years, that was my experience. Is, you know, I kind of remember we used to be able to ride bikes and go to the park and no one batted an eye, but by the time I was a teenager, we had a half day at school and I was walking home, and, you know, people were all super concerned. There was always eyes on you when you went out into public, and oh, there's a bunch of kids, they must be up to something. Like a bunch of kids at the park, I wonder if they're, you know, out there smoking or something, and just stuff like that, right? Or like anytime you stepped out into the world, there was people didn't seem to like you just relaxing and exploring. And, oh, you're gonna get hit by a car. Oh, you're gonna get abducted by a kidnapper. Oh, this is gonna happen. All these fears that were pushed onto us that, you know, when I was 5 and 6, you know, we would walk up to the park a mile away with a 9-year-old, and no one thought that was weird. And we would, like, you know, walk, like they would drop us off at McDonald's and be like, oh, I gotta go, and you guys want McDonald's, we'll drop you off, and then you can walk that half mile, a mile away across 2 busy roads with and like there were times where, you know, I think they were playing a trick on me. I was the youngest, but of like people not knowing the way home. You know, so it's a real, you know, real experiences I had of, you know, there used to be an element of danger that we were all allowed to experience. And not everything was crafted and curated and protected, and there's a little bit more you know, time to figure things out, come up with your own rules, get in a fight with people and like argue and tell people that they're wrong. And then it seems like the culture kind of shifted to, you know, a lot of these schools and such, you know, there's like specific rules that kids are supposed to follow for playing outside. And if a game, you gotta have an adult referee everything. And but the games we used to play growing up were like, remember, oh shoot, don't run back. Remember they used to play Foursquare, I think it was called, a lot, where person in the ace, I think it was like based off cards, but I could be wrong, but like there was all these positions, and the person as the ace got to kind of make up the rules, and then you tried to make your way through. And so it's just like this games like that were what everyone wanted to play, where you got the rules got to shift, and you got to have fun and figure it out and have disputes. And then getting angry at your friends and chasing them and stuff, like that was part of it too. And I did some things I probably shouldn't have done to some friends at different points. I got in this stage when I was in like 6th, 7th grade of, I started, that was when I stopped being the little guy, I guess, I feel. I was the youngest of 7, and, let me turn my walk on. Although now I'm gonna have to wait here. I was the youngest of 7, and so I was always the little guy, right? But then by the time I was in 6th grade, I was a linebacker. I was one of the faster, stronger. It was a smaller school, so there's not that many people to compete with. But I stopped being the little guy and started being the big guy. And people, I had a lot of older siblings, so I was tougher than most of the people. I'd played sports my whole life. We had older parents, so I think we probably had a little bit more freedom, that they didn't really have the energy to keep up. And I was the 7th kid, so at that point, how much monitoring did my parents want to give me? And so yeah, getting bullied by my siblings and always being the small guy and having to scrape my way around bigger people, playing basketball with my brother, doing all these different things, kind of always set the bar way above me of like my capabilities. And so maybe my dad was like 6'4", my mom was pretty big, tall, fast. So maybe there's a genetic aspect in addition to my upbringing that contributed to by the time I was in 6th, 7th grade, I was the physically dominant person, and I was the one that could dictate rules a little bit more. And so when you go from the little guy to the big guy, you don't know what you're doing. You kind of mimic those that came before you. And I think bully would be too far of a description of what I essentially did, but I do think I bullied some people a little bit too much, especially like people I would consider friends. And looking back on it, it was mostly the people that needed my validation that I bullied. Like, people that were more secure, I didn't really target at all. But people that wanted to be my friends more, like needed me for a role, made me feel weird, I think. And I guess I was just taking advantage of people that wanted to be friendly, basically, right? But the people that didn't care for my validation. I think like it wasn't like an inorganic thing of like, oh, I'm just gonna bully people. It was just kind of like a natural response as a kid, right? Of this not knowing what you're doing and like, oh, how do you be a man when you're a kid that got bullied your whole life? Like you're just kind of in a new territory and you don't really know the ground too well. And you just get caught up doing things that you look back and like laugh at, I guess. And you know, I guess my whole life people made me feel small, right? And so that was the behavior that I repeated. That's what the big people do to the little people. And so now that I'm an adult, been an adult for a while now, I suppose, but you know, being able to go back and reflect and refine and no longer be that, you know, that was a different me. I'm no longer really that connected to. Sure, there's a memory, sure there's, you know, some circuits that are still there, but you know, that me didn't know any better, didn't know what he was doing, made it up as he went. And you know, the people that I didn't treat well ended up being good friends down the line many years later. So I must have done something right. But yeah. And so yeah, that's not to say that I didn't get rid of any like the shame and guilt of that, because that's still within me, but you can still forgive yourself and still carry that that reminder to not do it again. You know, sometimes you need negative emotion for that. If you only had positive emotion, I think you'd be a psychopath. You'd have no inhibition. You would just do whatever. So be wary of the people that tell you just be happy and just do this. And nah, I'll take my the full front of my emotional palette, I guess you can call it, and just respond appropriately to each situation. So yeah, this level's going by pretty quick, I think. It doesn't feel like the hours are too slow for me. You just keep clicking. And whatever, if it's 30k XP an hour or 40k XP an hour, or well, I know the general time frame of what this is. I've already determined that it's worth it, and I'm not going to doubt that decision and start being, oh, I wish I could go and start going into the wilderness already, and oh, I wish, oh, I need to do something more fun, and you know, we're not there. So we're only getting this up to 75. It's literally just the same as getting up to 99 from 98. Like, it's a small fragment of an actual grind. 75 is about where it starts to really start taking time. So I normally would have went in that one, but I guess I got knocked off that one time. My patterns are getting thrown off. It's because I'm in a new pattern. You know, I already ate today. I'm more relaxed. I just want to sink into my chair, close my eyes, sip some tea. Whereas in the morning, before you eat, I think of everything through a biological, animalistic, layer of, if you've eaten for the day and you're full, then you have nothing to worry about as an animal. But if you haven't, and you're not sure where that meal's coming from yet, and you haven't decided, then I think it makes you slightly more anxious, slightly more ambitious, maybe even too. So I sometimes try to work on an empty stomach just so I can almost motivate my system to work harder almost. And so yeah, I thought it probably makes more sense to stream after eating. That at this point I just want to relax, settle in, make this nice, go with this music and just kind of relax in and create an environment that is easy for people to turn on. And after work, after school, I can just come in, listen to some music, listen to some guy rant. And yeah, I think that will create a better result than being fueled by coffee and having a level of hunger within you. But yeah, the money seems to be piling in. I'm gonna have to look up what a Edgeville teleport respawn, what that cost is, what the Ferox Enclave one is. If you could switch between them interchangeably and not have to pay the money back. So yeah, I guess we can look. We just go, I don't know. Death, Edgeville. Hope that it comes up. Spawn, yeah. Let's go old school RuneScape. Respawn spots. And so you got Lumbridge, Falador, Camelot, Edgeville, 5 mil. So that probably won't be until we really get going on revs and get some high alks going. And Ardone after Medium Diary. It says something about Ring of Life for Ardone, but it didn't say that for the other one, so I'm just kind of curious on what that means. So the other ones you still go back to Lumbridge, but if you do Ardone and you do it, you go there maybe? Huh. I don't really care. I don't really use Ring of Lives. Although maybe when I'm in Wilderness, I should, I'm not going to have a good ring. Maybe we make Ring of Lives. And just wear those, because there's a chance that it will save my loot if Someone's trying to PK me, right? I didn't think of that before, but it's not a terrible idea. So yeah, 5 mil for the Frox Enclave, and I think 5 mil for the Edgeville. So you got at probably elk, you know, over 10 plate legs, dragon plate legs. So I think we're probably a while off. Alright, there's a Corrend one too. The bank is so far away. And then a new one in the Varlamore. It's kind of a cool spot, but the bank's not too far away. You're next to the Quetzal, so you can get to Varrock pretty quick. And you can get around Varlamore. So you can always, I guess, switch it. I gotta reach Challenger rank at Fortress Coliseum by speaking to Gloria. Yeah, 50 tiles away from a bank and 20 tiles away from the bird. I think Edgeville's obviously just always the best until you, for Wilderness Slayer. And then Frox Enclave is probably going to be best for after, I would assume. Did it say the bank spots away? Yeah, they're all similar. Edgeville's seemingly the quickest to a bank and quickest to the Slayer. And relatively close to a fairy ring. The Ardougne one doesn't say how close you are to the bank. It looks decently close, but I imagine Edgeville and the other Frox Enclave are better. Riff is a decent idea, but if you die at the gauntlet, you still just stay in the gauntlet, so not sure if that really matters. I don't know why else you want to get to Prif. You want to go to the magic shop is right there, I guess. But my house is probably going to be in Prif eventually. Yeah, I do love Runelight. I wonder if, you know, sometimes they could work on some of these highlights being a little more you can hit a mode to make them less physically impairing, that you didn't have to look at it. That could be a little bit more native looking. Some of these, but it's obvious enough without, you know, just being this green box everywhere. But I guess it's more important to play the game well sometimes, which I think is how most of us are geared. So even if it was native and we started messing up on it, we would wish that they made it more visible. So, like, I don't think it needs the outline, the screen outline. I think you could just have it all this color, probably, without having the border. That might help. And then, you know, probably make it more of a lighter or darker color. Like my mouse clicker, when I go and click here, I kind of made it a little bit more subtle, this color. It's not as thick as other outlines in the game. So yeah, it's still noticeable, but I find it a little better. And then if you look at this one I have on my mouse, it's just a dark tile. So I wonder if they could have done just like some type of either, you know, more of a white or more of a black for a lot of these different highlighted things. Alright, so 5 mil to get to Edgeville. Did it say anything about teleport to home? If I do home, what comes up? Changing one's spawn location does not change the home teleport. Ah. So I would have to go on to the ancient spell. So yeah, the whole premise of why I was looking into this doesn't matter. It's more important to, I guess, just get the Edgeville ancient teleport. If, trying to think. I don't really know what you need the normal. I guess you want to have your entangles and such. So if we come here, magic, and we go ancient spell, ice rush at 58. Is that good enough to teleport under? Is that as good as the equivalent binds? 62. Entangles for 15 seconds. And then snare is 10, so 15, 10. And probably 5 for this one, yeah. So 5, 10, 15, okay. What am I looking for? Let's go ice magic, see what comes up. So ice spells is 4.8 seconds, so that's similar. And then it goes up to 10 seconds already at ice burst at 70. Ice splits for 14.4, and then 20 seconds. So yeah, that seems similar enough to like entangle and all those, right? For similar levels. This is 79 for 15. And at 82 you get 14.4, so yeah, it's basically the same. And I think you get a lot of those ice sacks and such in the wilderness, so I think I'd be able to use these spells instead of binds. I think bind is the only one that matters, right? 20. You have to wait all the way to 58 to get an equivalent. And then 70 to match up to the snare at 50, right? So yeah, when you get to 70, but then you're almost at 79, and then you're like, oh, I can entangle now. So, I don't know. I guess it depends on how I want to fight against Rev monsters. If we're going to be using, I want to use a Dorgishan crossbow, I think. But you can make the case that maybe I should just use the Dorgan crossbow at all the for all of the tutorial skipping. Get my range up to 66 doing tutorial skipping. And then use that sunlight crossbow. At that point, start doing range at the Rev Caves. Yeah, we're not going to make this one. And then I think there's a question of if I do mage, if I want to bring a higher level than strikes, how much risk I want to bring. You know, I have no idea how much I should be bringing out there. 1,000 casts? That would give me, like, if you had 100 for your task, that'd be 10 casts per Rev monster. I guess I'm one to typically risk less, but I don't want to bring chaos runes that are all like 100 coins each or whatever, or death runes that are even more. But if you're making enough money on the revs, at a certain point it would be kind of silly to keep going. But I think I want to do some Scurious while I do Turiel skipping. It's probably what makes sense. So let's Scurious. How many arrows? Don't you get arrows from Scurious? If you get a lot of them, maybe that's our... We upgrade the Dorgishan crossbow to start using like adamant arrows and such. Yeah, you get on average 35 every 16.67 kills. So that's almost more than 2 arrows a kill. That's not too much, to be honest, but we could start adding up. And then you do get a good amount of chaos runes and some death runes. You get a lot of rune armor. You get some prayer pots, that's nice. Probably start banking those off of him. Ranging potions, that's really nice. Although, I guess I'm supposed to use ranging pots against him, so. Maybe we just melee him. Because I want to use these, I don't think it's going to tell me what I want to see here, but the butterfly nets. Because, you know, these ones make defense potions. These ones I think make probably attack. These ones I think make some healing. And this one's prayer. This one is like a restore with food. And then these ones must be strength. So we'll have strength and attack pots. They're essentially super strengths at these levels too, by the way. So we'll have a good amount of super strengths and some prayer for Skirius, but we're not going to have ranging pots. So I think it would probably make more sense to train combats up there. Yeah, I wanted to keep my level down on this account, but I don't know if it's even worthy of my attention. I think it's probably better off to play fully, and when I get to the wilderness, to learn how to escape, learn how to, you know, not be prey. So, you know, my instinct is to still be prey. So that's where my thoughts are going to try to lead me sometimes. And so, yeah, maybe we should just embrace getting our combat level up. But I think I at least want to do, I'm going to go to, after I get to 74 agility, go to Lava Dragon Island, get my prayer up to, you know, somewhere between 43 and 45. Depending on if I get PK'd, we'll call it end. We'll call it early, right? You know, I don't plan on streaming Friday. Today is Wednesday. So yeah, maybe on maybe Friday I stream in the morning again, and I go to Lava Dragon Island then, to avoid, I have a feeling if I was to go today or tomorrow at, you know, 4 or 5 o'clock, I'll probably run into some more PKers than I would expect to in the morning. And, you know, that's a prey thought, but, you know, I think it's good to be discerning and not to, you know, pick unnecessary fights, is how I would phrase that. Yeah, I plan on going out and getting my reward, but, you know, some animals hunt at nighttime, some of them hunt during the daytime. I'm not trying to become a hunter, I'm trying to not be prey, so I guess I'm good being a nocturnal hunter. Go and get my kill, and not let it get stolen from another animal. Let the bigger animals sleep in, and get my kill when they're get my loot without as much competition. So yeah, I think maybe that's the trajectory. You know, at 71, we could take a detour and do some forestry and, what's it call it? Forestry and Veil Totem. I guess more Veil Totem than forestry, but. Yeah, I have this tendency to want to do one grind before the next one. Looks like my cat needs food before it runs away. I like to kind of do one thing at a time, kind of close my browsers, not overload myself with all the different options, but I think it's probably better to not fully lock myself into the wilderness. That, you know, I don't need to do my fletching and my hunter grind until I have 66 range. So maybe I just kind of keep my levels slightly ahead of my range level while I'm doing Slayer. I'll also stop off. Now, I think the reason why I was structuring myself this way is, I want to make some YouTube videos, and I think for those videos, it'll be cleaner to just kind of do one grind and then go to the next one. Makes it easier to thematically make sense of it all. I had a feeling I had 5 of these, so I stopped. It looks like we only have maybe 5 more to go, and we're probably going to run out of... Yeah, it looks like we're probably just going to get 1 level and be done. So yeah, it seems like the amount of water I brought out was probably about an hour and a half, maybe a little more. Yeah, we're almost halfway through the stream and doesn't even feel like it. So yeah, to me that's why I don't mind agility, is it time flies for me when I do it. I'm relaxed. I'm not bored. Maybe other people find it boring. I understand. You're just kind of clicking the next thing. But I guess to me, I don't get bored, I get frustrated. So boredom doesn't stop me from doing things. I don't really know if I get bored, but frustration stops me from doing things. So if I get PK'd or if I die in a PVM fight, it really frustrates me. And so then it causes me to want to stop. I think a lot of people, boredom is more of the negative driver of them not liking something. Me, I don't know. I don't know if I get bored. It's not something I experience that much. And that's without really bringing too much distraction into my life. I can just go and hike, I can go and walk and have nothing on my mind, just let myself process the days, process the weeks, process my life, just relax. So yeah, my boredom's like my favorite time. It's the time for me to process. So maybe that's why I like agility, is it's a good time to process. And if that's the state I like to be in, state of going out, living my life, and then coming in and processing it, reflecting and introspecting, and yeah, it makes sense. That's the difference, I guess. And I didn't really think I was one to consider myself to be motivated against irritation, but I think that's the nail on the head for me, actually, because I get irritated. And so if things are more predictable and boring, well, I just process and relax. That's how I want to spend most of my time, just relaxed, calm, comfortably numb. a state of, processing the world, using my senses, processing my mind, processing my agility levels. And now we can do the Slayer Tower. And now we can cross the Pol Niv Niche stepping stones. So yeah, I think we'll wait about 15 more minutes. Each song I have is, most of them are 15 minutes, some of them are 30. Got a couple 12-minute ones. This one's a 12-minute. I have one song that's 8 minutes. I had a different playlist before, and I wanted to reduce the time, so some of them got shrunk. So that 8-minute one, maybe I should look into increasing to 15 minutes again. But yeah. So yeah, I figured out, everyone seems to hate agility, and I always wonder, like, why am I different? I don't know. I feel like I'm the same as most people, but I think I discovered why. Is that negative emotion of irritation. I hate losing. I hate wasting energy. And so going out into the wilderness, going out and PVMing, sometimes it just sucks and I get irritated. And that drives me to not want to keep going. But I think for most people, it's boredom. Boredom is what is that negative emotion that motivates them. And I embrace boredom. I enjoy it. I like to process. I like to relax. All the answers just come to me when I'm relaxed and not distracted. I just kind of let my mind wander where it wants to go. Let my hand just kind of naturally go to the next thing without thinking. And, maybe it's because I take PVM and losing more seriously that, that it, it's like it crushes my ego or something, right? That it's just like this moment of like, this irritating moment of losing is not something I like, I guess. And so yeah, I think it does go back to ego, because when I play basketball, I don't really care for winning sometimes. And I think it's, self-protection of I'm just playing to have fun type of thing, of like not wanting to go all out when I play these different sports. But I think it's more of a reflection of my inability, my lack of skills to do certain things. That instead of looking at volleyball and like, oh, I don't want to try, and then therefore not like go and spike the ball and learn how to serve better and stuff like that, I can just say, oh, I'm not trying to try. So everyone should just relax and calm down, bro. And so yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy within me, but I think it's good just to name it, recognize it, and then that's how you grow. So now it's like, okay, I actually do want to win when I play volleyball. Well, yeah, sometimes I want to relax too and just play with the friends and laugh and joke, but I think it's more fun when everyone's kind of trying. It's not like the Super Bowl, right? But, if we start losing, to increase the intensity up a little bit. Essentially, that's what it is. And so, yeah. Instead of acknowledging that I am not good at spiking and not that good at serving, right? It was easier for me just to say, I don't don't even care about winning. And so I think, yeah, doing agility made me kind of realize all this. I'll run it back for anyone coming in now. Is, this recognition that I'm good being bored some reason, and but I don't like other content often. It drains me. Losing, there's like an irritation that drives me to not want to do stuff anymore. Whereas other people, when they get irritated, they almost want to conquer it. Whereas if I just dismiss it, I don't have to put the effort in sometimes. And so I'd rather be bored than irritated. So agility's pretty good for me. So maybe that's something I'll start realizing more and more is, it's just my lack of skill that's making me not care about something. So if you're going to take on the challenges of life, well, alright, this cat needs a pet. There you go. Got a girl. Alright, looks like we're coming up on the end. We'll probably just do this last lap. Get our last 5. Go turn them in. Go fill up on water. We're now at 71. Could stop off for some fletching, but I think instead I should at least go to 72 and then do maybe a good amount of it off stream and then go till 75 on stream, because that's going to mark the end of the grind. And then probably do a little bit of the end thing, the end game. What do you call it? Veil totems? Maybe get up to the point where I can use maples. That would be the ideal. And then once you can use maple, then I will maybe do a lot of it off stream and then finish up with it on stream. I think that's kind of my the way I'm going to try to approach this, is try to get the starts of all grinds on stream. And that's for more of the, boring content that I enjoy. It's my little alone time, my time to process. Nice and relaxed. You just go and click a button. And you can start thinking about the more important things, is what I think of it. Letting everything in my body boil up. That's what processing's for. So if you're always distracted, it's kind of like you're never bringing that out, I think. Okay, so let's teleport to house. Oh shoot, we don't have it. So for rock teleport it is. And then I'm gonna put these away. I guess we'll bring our earth teleports. That gives us 5 spots. So we're bringing 1 less this time, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, let's teleport to our house. This time we'll go outside. We'll use the water on our way. I think I want to take a tea break real quick. Just go fill up. This well, yeah, this well doesn't work. Yeah, go to the fountain. Yeah, let's take a little tea break. Let me put on a better song. All right, we're back. Filled up on tea, and we'll get back to the desert then. So we just unlocked this little shortcut. Let's see if we can use it without a diary. All right, cool. 25 XP. Big time. Little jackals. Well, that's good. I know I get dog tasks. I didn't know where exactly the jackals were in the wilderness, but that's right next to a teleport. And there's a bank right there too. So I might need that one day. Am I going too far to the west? Yeah. Starting to get hit by the desert, huh? Jackals. Goats. Say we've done 51 laps. It's over 500k, huh? And yeah, I prefer to wear the graceful outfit here for my increasing our run energy, decreasing our run drain. Seems to treat me better. You know, doing about 2 hours out here at a time is a nice little break. Good time to get up anyways. Go get tea, go get whatever. And we have about another hour and 15 minutes, and we'll probably consider going and getting a cat or not. Although I would say that, you know, it's barely worth the time compared to just doing a lap. I'd probably lose more than a lap if I was to go out and trade my cat in. So maybe we just wait until we get to a good spot. I don't know if I reset my agility XP per hour. Let's see. Why am I blind? Saving agility 31. I think we're getting a little bit more than 31, but that's probably not too far off. So if we're getting 31, it says we'll need 2.5 hours. And I think we probably won't go for 2.5 hours today, so maybe we just do this up to the cat. Do this until the cat grows up, and then we'll maybe go and do a little bit of Veil Totem, kind of see how the new area treats us. On my other account, my group Ironman, I call it my main, basically. I did a little bit of the Veil Totem just to see if I liked it or not. And I think it's probably fine. You just run in a circle, click buttons. It's not much different than agility. I prefer it over making strung bows. When you're only doing 14 at a time, it can kind of be a little too click intensive for me. Like, it's just enough time that you have to wait, but not enough time that you can go off and pay attention to something else, right? And so that's why I really like some of the changes that they've made in the game of the mastering mixology or whatever, right? There's those rewards that allow you to carry all of your secondaries in a pouch, and that lets you do 27 potions at a time. And so I find that to be much more worth my time than doing 14 at a time. 14 at a time is, you know, I find it irritating. But you're like clicking, you're waiting. It's enough time waiting to be like trying to think and trying to do something else. And it's quick enough that you can't do anything else. And so yeah, the new minigame Veil Totems, I feel like is pretty relaxed, at least to me. And it's not like doing a bank standing skill with only 14 things, and it will reward us with a knife that will make cutting quicker. And if we get bowstring, if there's a, you know, maybe we do some flax the bowstring spell at some point. String some U's and magics up. Alchem or something. You know, I want to kind of look into, at that point, not anytime soon, look into which one is getting the money from high alching, U's and magics, if that would be more worth it than just using them at the minigame. And I just have a feeling I'm one to want to always avoid high alching, so I imagine we might just use them in the minigame when we get to those levels. But there's a part of me that thinks the high alch value is just going to be significantly more worth it. I'm pretty sure that the Failed Totem gets you, you can get magic logs from it. So that's one less thing I'm going to have to think about on this account. It's how to get the magic logs to do Desert Treasure. So let's type it in. Failed Totems. Of course, Google thinks it's something else. We'll go to the offerings. Look at the rewards. There's research points. There's research points in a random reward. Veil offering. There you go. Veil offerings. Yeah, I don't see logs. So yeah, I guess you have to get your wood cutting up, or find another way to get the logs. Oh, don't run into that. Probably an easy way to get magic logs. I'm not going to worry about it until I need to get them. So yeah, anyone curious, I'm doing agility for a few reasons. Chiefly among them is to get to 75 to unlock the Revenant escape. Give myself another option before I lock myself to trying to get a Webweaver bow. In addition, it obviously got us the graceful outfit. It also, you know, gives us more run capabilities throughout the early game. And so it's just one of those things that you eventually have to get your agility up to 70 for Song of Elves. And so it's one of those things that it doesn't really improve the more you play the game. Your XP per hour is not really going to benefit. So to me, it just makes a lot of sense to knock out early when you're incapable of going out and doing Gauntlet and other content like that. At this point in the game, it's very rewarding. But if I was to try to do this later on, I would never come to the agility pyramid because, well, I'm not going to need money. See if we can make it. Cool. Wasn't too close, was it? So yeah, we're gonna push our agility high. I'm kind of debating. I think we'll probably mix the Wilderness Slayer with the next two grinds. The next two grinds are to make Wilderness Slayer better, but it's not going to have an impact until we get to 66 range. So might as well, you know, try to do Wilderness Slayer, do my Revenants, material skipping. If it becomes too frustrating, too many people are PKing, I can't find good worlds to keep my loot, I could then switch off and do Veil Totems, switch off and do Hunter Rumors. Now the only thing is eventually I want to make a YouTube series from what I'm doing. And it would make an easier video to not have them mixed, because then it's just like, oh, this video you just talk about Veil Totems. Oh, this video you just talk about Agility Pyramid. But if you intermix them, then it kind of, it's harder to tell that coherent story. Even if it's better for the account, what's better for, the content. Alright, we should probably turn our walk on. We're gonna get 5 of these. It's gonna be the heaviest weight that we'll have. So that's a good time to get my run energy back up. I find that I like to start running at about 40%. And if I get to about 30, it'll probably force me to walk earlier than optimal. And being less than optimal is fine. But it's not too hard. We'll optimize. That's about the sweet spot. 35% should be good. One of the grinds I'm debating doing is I want to get to 60 magic, but I'm wondering if, so 60 magic, 59 will get me Chaos Gauntlets, and 60 will get me Magic Capes, the Ceradomin Cape basically, which might be good wilderness capes to have. I think they're free. I think they're better than Ardougne cloaks. But when I originally had that idea, I thought I was going to be doing. Alright, chocolate bar, very nice. I thought I was going to be doing all of Wilderness Slayer. I thought I was going to. I didn't know how Turiel skipping exactly worked with Wilderness. I didn't realize it was different. That it doesn't reset your Wilderness streaks. So I was like, well, I'm going to be fighting a lot of Black Demons, Greater Demons, and Hellhounds, Fire Giants, Ice Giants. All of these things have elemental weakness. Mage is going to be by far my strongest. So if I have Chaos Gauntlets, I can use Chaos Runes for much cheaper. I'll be risking less, and with the Chaos Gauntlets, they actually do pretty decent out there. And so then with that thought, I was like, well, I'm definitely going to want to just go to 60 then. Because that would get me chaos gauntlets at 59 and then the cape at 60. But if I'm just going to go and Turiel skip, and if I'm just going to be doing revenants, and eventually I want to do revenants with range, and you have a bracelet on, not a you wear the whatever the Ethereum bracelet or whatever, is that the name of it? Blue bracelet. That you can't wear chaos gauntlets when you're doing revs. You gotta wear the bracelet. So my need and demand for 59 and 60, well, that comes later, and I might just naturally get it up. That I'm probably gonna want to do mage at the Revenant caves until I get to probably 60-ish range. But I do wonder is, I do think adamant arrows are better than Dorgish and crossbow. So if we go to bows, with maples you can use adamant, and if we do enough scurious, maybe we get ourselves a magic short bow, and maybe it's a U short bow, whatever, and start using up our adamant arrows, and maybe our rune arrows too, who knows. I had said in a previous stream I wanted to save my rune arrows, but that's because I don't want to make amethyst arrows, and they can suffice against tormented demons and demonic gorillas, but maybe it just makes sense to use the rune arrows when I unlock them. And use those up till 66 range. Because I don't know exactly when the break-even point's gonna be at the Revenants. But I think it's probably when I can start wearing I imagine I'm going to be wearing mixed hide. I can do some archaeologists and get red bodies, and I can do the crazy deranged archaeologist and get black d'hide bodies. Do some clue scrolls, but if I don't push the rest of my levels up early, a lot of them might be a little bit of a diversion. Go do the clue scroll. But if I'm just doing revenants and I'm just doing Turiel skipping, I'm not sure what clue scrolls I would be receiving to begin with. But I'm not going to be doing hellhounds to get hards. I'm not going to be doing Dagonoffs to get mediums. And I don't really know. I think Rev Orcs is the one I was looking at. I don't know if that's what I'm actually going to be doing, but Rev Orcs looked like a likely candidate for quick enough kills and good enough drops. And what was I going to look for again? Yeah, so they drop magic logs themselves. I'd mentioned that before. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to look up? Nice that they drop adamant bars. That might be a good way to get our smithing up. Mahogany planks, of course, are nice. A lot of U logs, a lot of magic logs. Can't believe I lost my train of thought. I think I was looking to see if they dropped arrows, maybe? Something that would make some sense, but I don't think that was why. They drop a lot of battle staffs, seemingly, so I might want to, it might be good crafting XP later when I can get some orbs from, oh, my brain's just not working anymore. I think this is why I like to have coffee and be on an empty stomach when I stream. From Perilous Moons, there you go. So yeah, it looks like we have about 2 more hours until we get up a level. And that would probably be next episode, I would assume. So I think after 53 minutes, we'll probably call it on agility. We'll go get our cat, turn it into death runes, and get a new kitten. And then maybe we go and check out Veiled Totems. Do a little bit of fletching. Yeah, I feel like the tea might make me too relaxed sometimes. Maybe that relaxedness makes me, my brain activities turn down and I can't grab the words I'm looking for sometimes. I feel like the opposite when I'm on high amount of sugar and coffee. All the words come to me. So I think it's kind of about like fueling your brain to a certain extent. So if you eat, you get yourself full and then you go and sip tea, well, you're probably not gonna have access to your ability to speak and pull different words out as effectively as when I'm buzzing on sugar and caffeine. So I think I instinctually go for my cup whenever I want a little bit more energy. And it seems to be a little loop where negative feedback, is that what it's called, or positive feedback? Which one is it? So negative feedback versus positive feedback. Well, we have the internet, so why do I have to pretend to know instead of just looking it up? Yeah, so that's what I thought. The positive system amplifies or reinforces the initial stimuli. So yeah, it's a little positive feedback loop that I was in of start feeling tired, and then if you usually have coffee in your cup, and you start drinking coffee when you start winding down, well, instead you're drinking a tea that's for relaxing, making you more tired, making the words come even slower, decreasing the mind activity. And so yeah, seems like the tea's putting me into a positive feedback loop, basically. You know, my last job, I use very exaggerated language, but it's to echo what it is in its extreme. I don't always know what the less extreme version of the story is. But, it's kind of like making deal with the devil of, relying on coffee and sugar all day. I don't know if I want to really do that while I stream. But that might make me more into what I'm doing. Make me hyper focus on streaming instead of processing. So yeah, everything in life, I think, comes with a cost. You can't have utopia. There's always a trade-off that you're always making. So I try to do it consciously, I guess. Try to name it and master it. Because I think you can only master something if you name it. But I also believe the opposite. And that's if you name it, you've now reduced it. Oversimplified it. And now you're looking at the pointer instead of looking at the world. I'm looking at the words, and that's the truth, as opposed to looking with my eyes, listening with my ears, taking in the sensory input. If you deal with words too much, start believing yourself, start believing the words, and well, it reduces things to what the symbolic words are pointing at, to mean something that you can define, but by defining it, you've lost its true meaning. That it doesn't have a meaning. The word gives it a meaning. It just is. And so yeah, that's one of the things I try to balance in life, is try to name everything so I can master it, but the realization that falls short of reality. And I try to get closer and closer to reality. So it's this weird paradox of naming to understand, and then once I understand it enough, then I take the name away. You have to master the rules before you break them, essentially. In chemistry class, I remember the teacher would say something along the lines of like, You gotta learn the rules before you know the exceptions, that there's always an exception to all these rules in chemistry, but understanding the rules is the foundation. And so yeah, that's kind of how I apply words to me, is words give a good foundation and ability to reduce and simplify the world, let you feel like you master it, and then you let the words go, and you let the feelings, you let the sight, you let your ears, you let everything else kind of see the world more accurately. And stop worrying about the words. Alright, moment of choice. I think we let the chocolate bar go. Pretty sure we can buy them in Ardone. Oops. Anyone curious about what my background is, it's one of my favorite shows, Bakemonogatari. And it's just, I just love how the, like the white, it's like this color palette. I don't know how to describe stuff. I just know what I like, But, scenes like that is what elevated that show for me quite a bit. And now if you know I like that show and I say something, you might be like, oh, that's probably where he got that from. So one of the sayings I sometimes say is, I just know what I know. That's a saying from there. And I did finally set up my, I just moved back to Michigan, and I set up my, I had these boxes of all these videos and whatever else. So I might just go to my face. Maybe seeing the background in the middle of it. I could try to point to it, but I feel like I'm going to be awkward. There's the Bakemonogatari series. And then I also have the books. Oh, no, don't do that. Excuse me. Get out of my face. Well, I guess you can actually see it better now. Maybe if I go like this, I can now move and show off my collection. So, let's see. So it's gonna be difficult for me to figure this out. But yeah, there's Bakemonogatari and Nisei Monogatari, and then underneath it are all the seasons. There's my favorite book, The Hobbit. There's Monogatari right there too. Those are the books though. You can't really tell what's down there, but it's my Avatar collection. It's my Harui ReZero. I think that's Attack on Titan and a lot of different movies, like normal Hollywood or whatever. These are just random books on top. They're actually behind. If you can tell that that's the top right there, and then that's the side, and then top, and then on the next row behind are some random books. And then that's my Zelda collection. Little mini guys. I got a little mini wolf. Woof. I have these little the Twilight Princess, and then the Breath of the Wild little. Try to figure out how to rotate. There you go. So yeah, I have I decided to put that all together, but let's get my face out of this. There we go. No, other way. Other way. Come on. Hey. Come on. There we go. Very cool. So yeah, that's my collection. I stopped collecting a while ago, so a lot of them I've just had for a long time. I always, was a bit of an idealistic person. At a young age, I had said something along the lines of like, if you want to complain that there's no good news out there, well, what are you doing to support good news? And if you want to complain that Hollywood sucks and Disney sucks, and well, are you actually supporting the things that you like? And so I used that as an excuse to invest way too much money into that collection back there. And whatever, I have it now, I have it forever. And they're good little reminders of the stuff that I either used to like or still like, and maybe a reminder to go and watch some of them every once in a while, and who knows. I want to get an actual good movie collection too. Start getting some of the movies that I like that had come out, well, I was going to say more recently, but the first one that came to mind was the 2008 movie. I think it's my favorite movie, but anyone out there have watched In Bruges with what's his first name? Gleeson is his last name, the actor, and Colin Farrell. Brandon Gleeson, maybe? Sounds right. And then they made another movie with the same director. I think he's like McConaughey. No, not McConaughey. Something like McDonough or something Irish sounding. But yeah, he had made a couple hits, I think. I think he has 3 main hits. But he might have more. Might have less. But yeah, he, In Bruges, I want to own. Just because it is probably my favorite movie. I think I bought, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was kind of more of a recent one I liked. It kind of encapsulated the chaos of today to a certain extent, and the pressure that people kind of put on themselves, try to hold it together. The mom in that, she kind of holds it all down somehow. The husband's kind of lovable, but a little goofy, doesn't always know what he's doing. And you know, the grandparents are kind of like racist and kind of funny, but the grandfather in it, you know, it's just like the classic Asian. They kind of just say whatever's on their mind. There's not the same rules that kind of a lot of people got used to in the internet age of all the censorship, and kind of all, I think, past that moment now of we opened up the internet, and then we had to kind of constrict our, like, oh, look what's going on, we better watch what we're saying now, look at all these people, that's not good. And well, we then learn that let people say what they want and who gives a fuck. So you know, we kind of are relearning our childhood values of, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones type of stuff. But everyone being so soft and bringing attention to all the negative words and such, and is kind of not making anyone stronger. It's not protecting anyone. It's just making people watch what they say and you know, watch what they think. And you know, maybe people need to be able to think what they actually think. Use their intelligence, not restrict it. And then you can go out and test it. Oh, I think this, and it ends up not being true. And so you use that as the argument to why saying something is stupid. Instead of saying you can't say that because you're going to hurt someone's feelings. Well, you're always going to hurt someone's feelings. There's a comedian, I forget which comedian. I don't know if it was like Dave Chappelle, maybe it was someone else. Probably maybe like Bill Burr. I think it was Bill Burr. Could be mistaken on who it was. One of those two guys. High probability, but you know that everyone's kind of good with whatever joke you say until you say the one that they've experienced. And so it's like, oh, hey, you know, I really liked your joke on this and this and this, but you know, you really shouldn't talk about cancer. You shouldn't talk about being paraplegic. You shouldn't, you know, poke fun at all these different things. It's like, well, someone out there lived it, and just because it doesn't affect you, and you want them to joke about all these other subjects, but once it becomes personal to you, then it becomes a problem, right? And so then when we live in a world where everyone's problems are being highlighted, like, oh, you didn't think about this, you didn't think about that. It's just like, well, if you have to think about everything before you speak, you're never going to speak. And so that's why I think it's all attempts to limit thought and only say what's safe and only allow the state to determine what's safe or not, or the culture, either way. Culture and the state kind of merged. And people put too much emphasis on the politics and stuff. Right, they've kind of overstepped into becoming the Karens of the world. You know, the state, marriage with big tech, basically. It's sometimes hard to tell what the line is between what's tech and what's, you know, a platform versus what's mandated, you know. Because yeah, you can say, oh, that's just YouTube, or oh, that's just Twitter, or oh, that's just the mob mentality, but they're all intermarried. The culture, the state, and tech, right? They're all feeding off each other. And, well, I think we're finally culturally pushing back and making the arguments that it's all got a little overblown. And yeah, maybe you should respect certain things. And increase your vocabulary to say what you mean, instead of reducing it down to making fun of a group of people when you're trying to say, you know, something's, you know, retarded or something's gay or whatever, right? Instead of saying that, to, you know, use the more precise word. Oh, it's boring. Oh, it's not fun. It's, you know, but, you know, increase the vocabulary a little bit more than that. Actually figure out what you're trying to say. But, you know, that's just what I think. And having said that, that kind of reminds me of, you know, my taste in music and such. Is that, you know, I was a fan of hip hop a lot in my youth, but, you know, I only liked the songs where they spoke, you know, very clearly, I guess, because the words were meant to be understood. And it seems like language is kind of turning into like, it's like regressing, going more tonal. And people are just repeating the same stupid stuff, it feels like. And I think, you know, hip-hop is kind of the, you know, everything's downpipe from culture, and I think art is upstream, I guess. And so when, you know, everything's turning into mumbles, and it's about like the feeling that you're expressing rather than the words you're saying nowadays, I feel like that's kind of more of the what the Zoomers are liking more, is that the words got a little too heavy. People are trying to control your words too much, so you just express your feelings a different way. But that's just something I just came up with on the spot, so who knows if that's, I don't even know if I believe that or not, but just a quick little reflection on possibility of why these things change. Yeah, I also believe art is selected. Yes, it's, you know, people make it, right? But if the culture doesn't, value the art, it's not going to get promoted, is what I'm trying to say. So the mumble. The mumble is what's valued, right? That's what people want to hear. That's what they listen to, right? So then is the culture's upstream from the art then, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Or maybe there's a loop, they feed each other and they read each other. It's probably the most accurate way of thinking about it. Alright, 24 minutes and we'll go switch our activity. We'll go turn our cat in, get some death runes. I guess we'll just go to Failed Totems and test that mini game out on the account at low levels, see how quick we fly through, or if it feels like we would have been better off just chopping wood and fletching them. But I have a feeling that the Veiled Totems is going to be much more worth it. That you have to get the logs to get your fletching up, and I don't really know what a quick way to get enough logs is. And the Veiled Totem gives you more XP per log, so I think it just has to be superior. Alright, go up. So yeah, maybe 9 more laps, and then we'll just see where that puts us, and that would give us less than an hour of streaming left, so maybe I go refill my tea at that point. I think that's probably what we'll do. My tea cools down very quickly, I noticed. I think because I drink too much at the start. It's half glass full. Cools up extremely quick. Anyone that likes this song, you may or may not know it already, but it's Dragon Roost Island. It comes from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Definitely one of my favorite. Especially of the more upbeat ones. As you can tell, I'm more of an introspective guy, so songs that are more introspective seem to call me more. And the song before this was Rito Village, and if you pay attention, they have the same notes. Just one is spread out, and one of them is more this upbeat. And Rito Village comes from Breath of the Wild. And they're high into the sky, and they're bird people basically. And it's a very song about, solitude and loftiness, and whereas this one I think is more that feels much more, I don't know if communal is the right word, but definitely more of like you're on a beach. That coastal song. I tried to go back and play Wind Waker, and I seemed to get stuck pretty early on of this trying to figure out how to do these small little things, and I wonder if it's a testament to I think I'm a very patient person, but I think society in general is significantly doesn't know how to deal with not knowing what to do. We all kind of need a little bit more direction. So maybe at some point when I get more time, I'll maybe look into playing those games again. I have all of the games. I don't know if I could play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but those are the first two I have, the N64 ones. And then I have Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, the GameCube ones. Then there was Skyward Sword, which I think was for the Wii. Breath of the Wild, which was for originally the Wii U, but also the Switch. I have it for the Wii U. I actually gave my Switch away to I have little sisters that are with a different dad and different state, and I lived there not that long ago, but I'd given them my Switch because I didn't use it anymore, and played Mario Kart with them and played Super Smash Bros. And a little bit of Mario Tennis, but I never bought the newest Zelda, and I really, for some reason I felt like I didn't want to buy it, didn't want to play it. I don't know why, but it's probably really good, but I don't know why I get inspired to play certain games over the other ones. The last game that inspired me to play it that wasn't something familiar was Ghost of Tsushima. And I just really liked, I watched the trailer, someone recommended it or something, and I watched the trailer, and you get to see there's a certain art direction in it that I liked. There's a certain beauty to most of what was going on, a lot of direction, a lot of deliberate choices. And I guess I'm one to really like symbolism, and so instead of having waypoints in the game, it sets the wind to the direction you're supposed to go, and the wind is I'm like 95% sure wind was supposed to represent your father in the game. And then the birds, some birds would help guide you to some of these mysterious spots, and I'm pretty sure that represented your mother in the game. And so just seeing that was one of the main reasons. I am a fan of Japanese media in general. I played Nintendo from a young age. I loved Mortal Kombat, even though that's American, but it's inspired from Japanese, right? One of my favorite shows was Avatar: Last Airbender. That was obviously inspired from anime. As I got older, I realized that the Fire Nation wasn't one of the races, that there's inspiration for Fire Nation comes from Mongolians, it comes from Chinese imperialism, and it comes from Japanese imperialism. So it's not just, when I was young, it's like, I think it's supposed to be Japanese. It's supposed to be like World War II. a lot of the ships and stuff. Or like a modern nation that uses its advantage against others. That's the Japanese story in Asia, right? An island nation. But as I got older and I would go and watch it, you would see the Mongolian influences, like the tents that they were in. I think they're called ordus. And you'd see a ton of Chinese stuff. So it's just Fire Nations, all of them. And then the Earth Kingdom, I think, is primarily continental China, Ba Sing Se with the walls of China, Forbidden City. There's a lot of reflections there, but I think I want to say there's a good amount of Indian influence too, but you know, I don't know my Indian history as well, I guess, as other ones. But that's just the feeling I get, I guess. You know, the Kyoshi warriors are obviously Earth, and that's inspired from Japan. But yeah, always been a fan, I guess. I've always been drawn to, you know, like my first costume I picked as a kid was, you know, to be Sub-Zero or Scorpion. I can't remember now. Scorpion or was it Sub-Zero? Regardless, I love both of them, and I think it was Sub-Zero, but not 100%. And I grew up eating a lot of sushi. You know, I was born in Hawaii. And Hawaii has a lot of Japanese people. There's a closer proximity to to California and close proximity to Asia, right? So it makes sense that the content on the West Coast is going to be more Asian influenced than the East Coast, which is probably going to be more European influenced. And so yeah, I think you know, the food, you know, Hawaii's culture, you know, intermixes with a lot of Japanese. The whole hodgepodge of different cultures and that influence the what's over there. But yeah, I always found myself drawn to, you know, Nintendo, drawn to Avatar, drawn to anime. You know what the funny thing is, though, is that a lot of the anime I like are very Western based. You know, whether that's, you know, Full Metal Alchemist was the first one I watched. Very, you know, it's alchemy. It's a European system. The art was European. The Ouroboros or whatever it's called. All that type of stuff. And I didn't initially like Attack on Titan, but I definitely, I don't know, maybe it was the third season or maybe it was the second season when I really fell in love with it. First season I didn't like for some reason. I thought it was a little over daunting or over dramatic or something. And yeah, I mean, it probably was, but I think it earned its right to do that. You know, other people might disagree, but what else do I like? You know, Fate Zero, that's another one that's, yeah, it's Japanese, but a lot of it is Greek. There's Babylon, there's but yeah, I feel like the magic system in general, it seems to be more Western based, I would assume, but all the crest and symbols, that all screams Western occult to me than it does Asian. Yeah, most of the shows, so it's like the shows that I liked the shows that I liked from the West often had Eastern content, and Zelda being and Mario and stuff like that. It's all based on European stuff, right? And princesses that are blonde, and so maybe I've always been more interested in the marriage of the East and the West, of combining both value systems to make a better value system. Maybe that's why, and maybe the East can't praise its values and the West can't praise its values. And so, having the East praise the West and the West praise the East, you can kind of see that love for these valuable sacred things be expressed, and maybe that they don't get expressed as common nowadays. Like only Lord of the Rings is the only one I can think of that is like a West on West appreciation of its values and lore and history and fantasy. I was thinking, well, Star Wars, that's the Jedi are obviously based on like samurai and knights, but mostly samurais, and a lot of the Force stuff I think is based on more Buddhist principles, more East in general, karma, and what else? Taoism, I think, for sure, right? The way, Tao, very much the Force is intertwined with that. So yeah, maybe that's what my true taste maybe isn't into the East or the West. It's the reverence for the sacred of Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, these things that are I don't know, I picked a lot of Zelda music because to me it's the most sincere. It's a very earnest, plays the game. There's a lot of jokes in it. I'm not going to claim that there's not. But they don't joke around with some things, but the game is pretty straightforward. You're just supposed to kind of accept the value system in it, and I think it's a universal value system, and this is like a very obvious a lot of people try to say moralities, oh, it's all gray now, and well, yeah, I mean, they're not wrong, but they're not right. And what I mean by that is, yeah, our value system 10,000 years ago, you can't have a modern day view and say that morality applied to back then, right? That would be really dumb. But in our lifetime, in our historic catalog of how far back we go, these values have, I think, held up. The ones that are in Zelda, the one that are in Lord of the Rings, the one that is in Star Wars, the one that's in all these things, right? So I think that's what I've always been drawn to. So yeah, maybe I just like sushi. Maybe I have a respect for Japan that, our whole culture kind of has a respect for Japan. So maybe they're the only ones that earnestly act out reverence. I think I could have made that one, but it would have been pretty close. Yeah, I hope we start seeing, I'm just trying to think of like the different anime and stuff that I've watched. There seems to be more Japanese lore and stuff into the stuff, I feel. Maybe there always was, but you're seeing a lot of like the modern day ones be like these Japanese folklore and stuff more. But maybe I just didn't know of the old ones. You know, there's Inuyasha, but I never really watched it. What else is there? I can think of the main character's name, but I can't think of the show. There's a few of them like that, I guess. But yeah, I guess I'm talking about more of like Jujutsu Kaisen, I think it's called. Where it's definitely an Eastern world. Alright, we got 3 minutes until our cat grows up. But we really only have about 25 minutes until I want to call the stream. So I don't know how long this will last, but maybe we just stay out. You know, we have more than an hour left. We get 22 per hour, and we can do 24. That's what we need. Could always go into overtime, but you know, I did already eat, so that's, you know, my previous streaming schedule, I didn't eat before streaming, and then I would finish streaming and had to have to eat right away. But I've already eaten for the day, so I guess this allows me to go into overtime whenever I feel like it, a lot easier without straining my mind. I actually feel like I'm starting to come out of my siesta mode. That, you know, I just switched to this 3 o'clock time period, and well, maybe 3 o'clock seems to be somewhat around the threshold time of when people's energy goes down, right? Like you get back from school, you're kind of finishing up at work, you're trying to like make it to the end. It's about that time, right? You know, the natural rhythm of the day. So maybe my streaming at 3 is not the best choice to reflect my circadian rhythm, my whatever you want to call that. Or maybe it's all BS. But yeah, I don't think there's anything important that we're doing today that I need to go into overtime for. We'll finish off where we finish off. We'll probably just go get another cat, refill on stuff, maybe go buy some earth runes so we can teleport to house a lot easier. I have all this money now. One of my goals is to get probably to 55 magic. It's probably the level. You know, my path changes as I go, right? That I'm on a little journey. This Ironman account, I don't know everywhere that I'm going to end up, but maybe we just call it. Maybe we just kind of start wrapping up. Now we have our cat, we have a good amount of weight here, our run energy is kind of low, so. Nice 700k. Maybe we go buy some runes, refill. Yeah, let's do that. I don't mind that one bit. Well, my room got significantly darker now. It's getting a little darker out today. Maybe I need to turn a light on. Usually I stream during the day more as opposed to nighttime. Another purple dye for fun. Maybe that's what I'll do. I bought a plant stand, but I haven't bought any plants because it was cold and I didn't want to kill the plants when I transfer them to my car. I want to buy some like tropical plants and such and put them up there, liven up the room a little bit, but what's up, brother? I'm doing good. How about yourself? I mean, this account like 2 weeks ago, but RuneScape in general maybe probably close to 20 years ago. I think I was just looking at when things were released, and I don't think I remember when like the Dragon Longsword came out, and I think I saw that was like 2003 or 4 or something. So I think over 20 years ago. And the first grind I went for was a Dragon Medhelm. We would mine coal. I was like maybe 2nd or 3rd grade. Alright, so we'll buy another cat, and we'll go to Aubrey, stockpile some earth. And then I want to get my magic probably up to 55-ish. Hey, this guy's stealing my style. The blue hat and the book and a staff. That's what I rocked for the last few episodes before I got my graceful. Alright, new cat. I think if we get if you look at my image, I have a white cat. So I think when we get a white cat, it might be my last kitten. Might just raise it. And I think we've probably gotten more death runes than we really need, and at this point, you know, there's probably better content for me to do than run to Ardone, get a cat, trade it for death runes. You know, doing a lap at Agility Pyramid almost takes as much time, and that's just 10k gold. So we've raised 13 cats. And that's, you know, 360 Grand Exchange equivalents for an Ironman. But that's at a value of 140. Go see what the death runes. I don't even know if he sells them here. I think you have to go to the wilderness, but could be mistaken. We will see what the cost is over here. So yeah, we should probably bank some things because we're gonna want to buy a lot of runes. I'm trying to get to probably 55-ish, and we're gonna be doing it with a lot of mine runes before we. I want to go to the wilderness and try to get something exciting, possibly. Give myself a chance for a Dragon Fire Shield, just to see what happens. So let's get these. Let's put everything else away though. Oh, so he does sell death runes, and they're 180, so 140, 180, yeah, whatever. So let's say 400k that I saved for trading all those cats. It's probably worth it, but money's a little bit more available. Hopefully we'll start doing some revenants soon, and our cash stack will turn to a different color. We still have some more agility pyramid anyways, so the cats might be coming to an end. So we want to buy water runes, we want to buy earth runes, we want to buy mine runes. I think we need at least maybe 5 of these. Oops, meant to click that button. And then I think I want to get about 10k of these ones, so just buy 50. So that, what, I get like 2,000 per inventory? Not too bad. All good, brother. I was just nice. Yeah, you asked when I started playing RuneScape. I said probably around 2001, 2002, probably in 2nd or 3rd grade. So it'd be like 2003, then 2002. And I started off as a miner. This was our early scheming. Me and my brother shared an account. I had worse plans though. Other than that, I think one time I would run to every town and try to buy like the best armor I could get. No, I don't play too many other games, but you know, I've played a good amount of Civ 6, I guess. Played some, I tried getting into Age of Empires, but, you know, I was kind of over it. I play Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Oh, did I just press teleport? Yeah, no mobile games. I think we want more than 10 grand of runes. This barely has gone into my stacks, so that's nice. No Clash Royale. Is that what you like? Yeah, I'm in Michigan right now. Yeah, I'm streaming on YouTube and on Kick, not on Twitch. Only stream to 3 on. You can only stream to 2 sites using Restream, and one of them I want to be YouTube because I know it's going to keep the video up for a long time. I want to kind of take all the videos I'm making and turn them into a YouTube series, kind of have a little bit of fun. So Kick, I think a lot of the RuneScape communities kind of went over to Kick, and you know, I just have paid attention to the, you know, kind of the direction Twitch is kind of headed, and didn't really know if I cared to go that route, I guess. Okay, I guess we'll buy these last 21 and call it on that. But yeah, I'm hoping to make a YouTube series. I edited the first episode. Took me a while. I kept kind of circling back on how to do it right and trying to make scenes and to save them and use them later if I wanted to, but I just said enough's enough. It was a waste of my time doing it that way, and just edited the stream all at one time of like cutting scenes and moving things over, and the future episodes are going to take longer because there's going to be less content, or less content to put onto the video, but more content to go through to put on. It didn't work. That's a bummer. I'll have to test it out too. It's Courageous Comfort is the same as my kick. How do I even look? But yeah, it's the same name as the as this one. Content. And then if I click YouTube, yeah, it doesn't work, huh? That's weird. That's a bummer. Okay, I'll have to get that fixed. I'll fix that after the stream. I'm coming really close to the end of the stream. I made this playlist, and that's kind of like my my cue of. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to test out all my links and. I wonder why it didn't work. I guess I still have the other ones up, but I'm not really on a lot of these yet. I'm gonna wait until after I make release some YouTube episode, and then that's probably gonna be my first tweet and my first whatever else that I'm gonna do. Like I think it's a TikTok symbol. I think I'm probably just gonna delete that. I don't think I'm gonna make TikTok video for my series or not. Oh, does it? Yeah, this stuff doesn't like working. Let me go and look. It says live for me, but okay, that's good. You got me, this stuff always wants to break. And YouTube's a minute behind too. Using Restream, you don't have the same customization as you do going directly from OBS is the software that streams for you. It captures everything that's on the screen, it puts up your overlay, and then you send that over, but it doesn't seem to, like every single time I have to change the titles, even though Restream is supposed to send it. And there's stuff like that it always fails to, it's supposed to have my chat integrated, but if I type over on YouTube, it doesn't do that. So there's a lot of things that just don't work that well. Which, what do you mean by custom stuff on YouTube? Yeah, I guess I don't know what to add often. But yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. You know, either people are gonna like my videos or not, so. So we'll go day by day and add things as we go. But yeah, it was nice talking to you. This is my last song and it's about to switch over. And that will be my almost a 4-hour stream. It's about how long I want to do it and spend more time on other things. So I have to do a lot of editing and such. So, but yeah, it was nice talking with you. I'll have to catch you another time. Signing off. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.